Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome back to another special Christmas December video. Today we are going to watch a video that's probably not going to be as happy as my videos usually are because it's like a more serious topic. At least I think so. All of us, we remember the episode with the Peter Capaldi doctor and the war, where soldiers all of a sudden stopped to fight because they started singing the Christmas carol and war stopped, at least for a few hours. As far as I know, the next day the war started again. They just celebrated Christmas together, which is so strange to me. I can't wrap my head around a concept like that. But we all remember it as one episode. And I was told that there is this video with Peter Capaldi where he reads a letter from World War I from a captain who was part of that war, and a letter that he wrote to his wife. That's all I know. I think it's gonna get pretty emotional, but I'm really interested what this is going to be. And for everyone who doesn't want to watch like sad videos, I do have a bunch of funny and entertaining videos out there. Just scroll through my channel. This December I'm uploading a bunch of special videos and you can watch them. Most of them are pretty funny and entertaining. So this is something else that I did want to do because I'm really interested. And also, read by Peter Capaldi, his voice, seeing him again, listening to his voice again, that's gonna be so weird and also so good. I am looking forward to seeing him again, even though it's not gonna be in a happy way. But let's see what this is all about. Wow, seems to be a big audience.
24th of December, 1914. I've just been through one of the most extraordinary scenes imaginable. Tonight is Christmas Eve. I came up into the trenches this evening for my tour of duty in them. Firing was going on all the time, and the enemy machine guns, they were at it hard. They were firing at us. Then, at around 7 o'clock, the firing stopped. I was in my dugout. I was reading a paper. The mail was being dished out. It was reported to me that the Germans had lighted up their trenches all along our front. We had been calling to one another for some time, Christmas wishes and other things. I went out and I shouted, "No shooting!" And then somehow the scene became a peaceful one. All our men, they got out of the trenches and they sat on the parapet. The Germans did the same. And they talked to one another in English and in broken English. I got on top of the trench and I talked German, and I asked them to sing a German Volkslied, which they did. Then our men sang quite well, and each side clapped and cheered. I asked the German who sang a solo to sing one of Schumann's songs, so he sang The Two Grenadiers splendidly. Our men, they were a good audience. They really enjoyed his singing. Then Pope and I, we walked across. We just walked across. And we held a conversation with the German officer in command. One of his men introduced us properly. He asked my name and then presented me to his officer. I gave the latter permission to bury some German dead who are lying in between us. And we agreed to have no shooting till 12 midnight. 12 midnight tomorrow. We talked together.
I'm so sorry to interrupt this, but I just have to get those thoughts out of my head in order to be able to continue. So first of all, I didn't know anything about the video, so this is all new to me. This is a live reading of letters, and that is so outstanding. I've never heard of anything like that. I mean, letters are little windows into lives of people, and it's such a cool thing. It's history, like history written by people who were there at the time. It feels so, I don't know, it feels special to listen to words that other people wrote who were in various situations, outstanding situations like a war, for example. And also Peter Capaldi reading this text, it feels as if he's written it. Like it feels as if he was the person who lived through this and now talks about it instead of reading a letter. He's not only a great actor, but also he does such a good job reading that letter. It's full of life, the pauses he takes and all. And it really throws me right back into that episode that we've seen. That's why I teared up immediately, because that scene where they stopped all of a sudden and agreed to have peace for at least a few hours before killing each other again. This is, I can't even, I can't, my small little mind can't understand how that could have happened in the first place and how they were able to continue war after that. Also, it is very hard for me to stop in between those videos, but I can't just let it run through. I have to pause every now and then, otherwise YouTube will take my video down. So I'm very sorry if it disrupts the atmosphere. I'm trying to talk in a more soothing voice instead of like screaming and all, just in order not to break the atmosphere. I'm trying not to pause way too much in between because I really want to have the full picture storyline. But I'm gonna have to pause like 2 or 3 more times within the video. If you do want to see it without any interruptions, the link is in the video description down below. You can go there first, listen to it completely, and then come back and listen to it again with my thoughts in between. Just so you know, I'm not doing this on purpose, but there's no way around that. I love seeing Peter Capaldi again, like seeing him alone just makes me tear up. I don't even want to think about it. I love the Jodie doctor so much, and I'm so glad we got her because she's such a lovely doctor, and I learned to love her so fast because she's so different in a very good way. But seeing Peter again, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I can't even start to think about it. But I don't want to take away from the story, so I'm gonna stop talking about the Peter Doctor now. Let's concentrate on this story because I am really interested in the way this person talks about like how this worked. How did you agree to peace and then start shooting each other again? How does that work?
10 or more Germans gathered around. I was almost in their lines. I was within a yard or so. We saluted each other. He thanked me for the permission to bury his dead. And we fixed up how many men were to do that, and that otherwise both sides must remain in the trenches. Then we wished one another good night, and a good night's rest, and a happy Christmas, and we parted with a smile. I got back to the trench. The Germans sang "Du Wacht im Rhein," and it sounded well. Then our men, they sang "Christians Awake." It sounded well too. And with a good night, we all got back into our trenches. What a curious scene. Lovely moonlit night. German trenches with small lights on them. And the men on both sides gathered in groups on the parapets. At times, we heard the guns in the distance and an occasional rifle shot. I can hear them now. But about us, absolute quiet. I allowed one or two men to go out and meet a German or two halfway. They exchanged cigars or smoke and they talked. The officer I spoke to hopes we shall do the same on New Year's Day. I said, yes, if I am here. I felt I must sit down and write the story of this Christmas Eve before I went to lie down. Of course, no precautions are relaxed, but I think they mean to play the game. All the same, I shall be awake all night so as to be on the safe side. It's weird to think that tomorrow night we shall be hard at it again.
Yeah.
If one gets through this show, it will be a Christmas time to live in one's memory. The German who sang, he had a really fine voice. I'm just off for a walk around the trenches to see that all is well. Good night. Christmas Day. We had an absolutely quiet night. In front of us, though, well, just to our right and left, there was sniping going on. In my trenches and in those of the enemy opposite to us, there were only nice big fires blazing and occasional songs and conversation. This morning at the Reveille, the Germans sent out parties to bury their dead. Our men went out to help them. And then we all on both sides met in the middle and in groups began to talk and exchange gifts of tobacco, etc. All this morning, we've been fraternizing, singing songs. I've been within a yard of their trenches. I've spoken to and exchanged greetings with a colonel, staff officers, and several company officers. All of them, they were very nice. And we fixed up that the men should not go near their opponent's trenches, but remain about midway between the lines. The whole thing is just extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
It is. Extraordinary. That's the right term. That's what it is. This is completely weird. I don't have words to describe what I feel when I think about it. It's so weird. People who talk to each other, exchange gifts for Christmas, sing together, have a fire together, sit around and chat. They like each other. They're all nice to each other. They let them bury their dead people. It's just this peaceful night, this one peaceful night. Just at their place though. All around them there's shooting, sniping, rifles going off. I'm just trying to imagine. I can't put myself in the position that those men were, but I'm trying to put myself. I can't. It is just too far away from everything that I know, because luckily I've never been in a war. I have never seen a real gun, only in video games. I've never felt the fear. I've never felt like, I don't know what those people usually feel. when they are out there. I don't know what mindset they have. I don't know how much of them and how much of their human part is still in them when they're out there. Because on the one hand, you can't switch it off completely. Your emotions, your feelings, you can't switch them off. But on the other hand, you have to survive. You have to be able to take another person's life in order to save your own. So with that mindset, how does one start? By saying, let's switch to the human side. Let's turn it off for a few hours. Just leave it be. I need that humanity right now. And then they stop the war, put down their rifles, their weapons, or maybe attach them to their uniform, and they start talking to each other. They started exchanging gifts. They are showing this human side. They're like able to show that emotional side of them. And all of them do that, not only part of them, all of them, which shows if they are not fighting, if they are not soldiers, if they are not forced to turn off their feelings, they do have them. They are indeed human beings. They do want love and care, support, emotions. They do want all of that, just like we do. But they are forced into the situation. They are forced to kill each other. They're forced to see all the horrible stuff. I'm just trying to make sense of it by talking about it, by trying to put myself in a mindset like that. But it's so far away, it's not possible for me. I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it. And I think I'm not the only person who has that problem, I guess, because all of us, or most people, are so far away from war nowadays, luckily, that we just can't. So a letter like that is something really special. Like I said, it's a window into the mind of a person that lived through the situation. Okay, now we are in the peaceful moment. Everything's good. Everything evil stopped. But they agreed, like when they made peace, they agreed, okay, 12 o'clock is gonna be over. I may have talked to you, I may have laughed with you, I may have played games and sang with you, but 12 o'clock, I'm gonna kill you. Unimaginable. Unimaginable. And like Peter said, an extraordinary situation. Now let's see how this finishes.
The men were all so natural and friendly. Several photos were taken. A group of German officers, a German officer and myself, and a group of British and German soldiers. The Germans are Saxons. They're good looking. They only want peace. And they seem in no way at their last gasp. I was astonished at the easy way in which our men and theirs got on with each other. We've just knocked off for dinner, and we've arranged to meet them again afterwards. Until dusk when we go in again, and then until 9 p.m. when the war begins again. I wonder who'll start shooting. They say, fire in the air, and we will, and such things. But of course, it will start. And it will start tomorrow, and we shall be hard at it, killing one another. It's an extraordinary state of affairs, which allows of a peace day. Never seen men so pleased to have a day off as both sides. Their opera singer is going to give us a song or two tonight. Perhaps I may give them one. Try and imagine 2 lines of trenches in peace. Only 50 yards apart. The men of either side, they've never seen each other except perhaps a head now and then. And they've never been outside in front of their trenches. Then suddenly, one day, men stream out and they nest in friendly talk in the middle. One fellow, a married man, he wanted so much a photo of Betty and Nancy in bed, which I had. And I gave him it because I had 2. And he seemed to show it all around, as several Germans told me afterwards about it. He gave me a photo of himself and his family taken the other day, which he'd just got. Well, I must finish this now. Got to get this off today. We've just finished dinner. I must go outside now to supervise the meetings of the men and the Germans. I'll try and write more in a day or two. Keep this letter. Keep it carefully. Send copies to all. I think they'll be interested. It did feel funny, walking over alone towards the enemy's trenches to meet someone halfway, and to arrange a Christmas peace. That'll be a thing to remember all one's life. Kiss the babies. Give them my love. Write me a long letter and tell me all the news. I hope the photos come out all right. Probably you'll see them in some paper. Yours, Jake.
Wow. That was a really good video. Something to think about. Something unique. A few weeks ago, before I watched that episode of Doctor Who, I had no idea that that night existed. And now I've come to know that there's a letter of a person that was actually there, and I've read it. I really wonder how that would have looked if they would have had social media back then. If there wasn't just a letter, but actual videos. Maybe it would have started a trend. Maybe more people would have chosen to have a peaceful day. Maybe that would have changed minds. I don't know. But even with that one letter, this brings me so much closer to what happened that night. Like I said, I can't even begin to understand it, but it feels as if I have witnessed another part of it. And I am thankful that this letter exists. I am thankful that we do get to witness something like this through a letter, an extraordinary moment in humans' history. Thank you so much for watching this video together with me. I hope it didn't make you too sad. If it did, go and watch other videos of my December specials. I promise they'll be happy. This was an exception, but I really wanted to watch this video because I found it very interesting to get deeper into what happened at that one night that we saw on the Doctor Who episode. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.